Celebrations break out in the Zulu homeland after a Zulu political leader decides his party will take part in South Africa's first all-race elections. Until yesterday, Inkatha Freedom Party leader Mangosuthu Buthelezi had said his party would boycott the historic vote. Inkatha had planned to stay out of the elections because the Zulus demanded their homeland be independent, something not called for in the nation's new constitution. Yesterday, Mangosuthu Buthelezi, the leader of the African National Congress, Nelson Mandela, and South African President F.W. Klerk brokered a deal. The agreement for reconciliation and peace calls for Inkatha participation in the elections, all sides renouncing violence and seeking a free and fair election, all recognize and protect the status of the Zulu king. Everyone accepts international mediation on outstanding matters, and everyone helps ensure full Inkatha participation in candidate lists and ballot papers to be amended. CNN's Peter Arnett has more on the agreement from Johannesburg.
This was the moment that an anxious South Africa had been hoping for. The massive political breakthrough that would fully legitimize the elections and diminish the violence. The entry of the Zulu Inkatha Freedom Party into the political process. The Zulu Chief Minister, Mangosuthu Buthelezi, sealed the deal with his political rivals, President F.W. de Klerk and ANC President Nelson Mandela. It came after 2 days of intensive meetings at the capital of Pretoria. Inkatha will now participate fully in the April 27 elections, a reversal of its rejectionist stand that had thrown the election campaign into violence and turmoil.
The Inkatha Freedom Party has decided to make the kind of compromise which would make its entry into elections possible in order to avoid a great deal more bloodshed and carnage, which we have been witness to.
This agreement, I believe, removes one of the last main causes for tension and violence in the Republic of South Africa.
This agreement is a leap forward for peace, reconciliation, nation building, and an inclusive election process.
The victory of the peace process was a reverse for the holdout Buthelezi, who had previously warned South Africans of a possible civil war if his demands for constitutional changes were not met. Inkatha's change of heart created major problems for the Independent Electoral Commission that is running the elections. It has to print new Inkatha Party stickers to put on the millions of already printed voting ballots so that the three principles are represented. It needs to add additional polling stations and personnel.
They know it's not the best. They've accepted it as good enough for the three of them.
But as the political leadership talked solidarity, factional violence continued in Inkatha Township outside Johannesburg, where a news photographer was killed Monday. ANC supporters tried to storm a hostel used by Inkatha followers, and in the exchange of fire, at least one person was wounded. The South African Defense Forces rode into the rescue, to the evident relief of the residents. With South Africa's political leaders finally unified, what is still to be determined is if their message of peace and reconciliation influences their warring supporters on the streets. Peter Arnett, CNN, Johannesburg.